Alright, welcome back to my channel. Alright, today's topic, is it even worth it? And by that, women. Trust me. Oh, they are worth it. 100%. Now, before you say simp and all this other shit, and women on a pedestal and all this other crap, well, that's like asking a lion. Alright, think about it this way. Asking a lion, hey, is meat worth it? What the hell? That's all I eat. What do you mean? Stupid question. All right. Which brings me to this. Apparently, there's guys out there saying, well, it ain't worth it. All right. That just means it was so damn hard, or you weren't getting any at all. In my world, in the lion world, right? If a lion doesn't get eat meat, right? You just starve and die. You go away. Involuntary, what is it? Yeah, involuntary celibate. Which now you got more problems, right? Worse problems. Anyways, my point is they are worth it. Damn worth it. But instead of making it, is it worth it? The work and all that other shit. Why not like the work? Why not enjoy the way, right? The path. Enjoy the skills, the learning, right? Enjoy the training. You enjoy all that shit. Learn to love the game. Like the game. Understand the game, right? And trust me, once you understand everything I just said and enjoy it and like it, believe me, it's more than worth it. It is damn near a pleasure. Right? But again, those things are trigger words for some of you. Not you, my viewers, right? But some of you. Potential. New viewers, right? Some of you jump the ship because you don't like what I'm saying. Does it sound simpy? Right? It's my pleasure. Does it? Right? So I take pleasure, right? In women. So what is it? How's that? Simpy. Right? I understand where you know, the sentiment, right? I mean, it's a pedestal and women ain't shit to me, and I've heard that plenty of times from dudes. They're full of shit, but I've heard it plenty of damn times. Right? It damn near think they look cool or sound cool. But in all reality, it's like showing your hand again, like my last video. Right? When you say statements like that. Women ain't shit. Yeah. Really? Really, son? Right? You just showed your hand. If anything, you got more nefarious shit in your head, right? But anyways, let's continue. Well, actually, let's start.
Weekend. I'll summarize it below. If I would have known about the 3 iddies, I'll talk about that towards the end, I might still be with this woman. Although I'm glad it all worked out the way it did. I just wish her videos had been around when I was in my early 20s. It would have definitely shortened the learning curve in life. I love my dad, and he's a great counselor on money and all things business, but he was not the best with advice on women. But he was a product of generation and was taught to treat women like princesses. It's not his fault. He was working with the tools he had. On to the main story. I'm definitely not...
Now understand. Everything he said seems like he just discarded what I said, right? In a way. But understand, we have a problem here. Because the videos have been around, right? Since before I can remember. They've been around. Problem is, 20-year-olds don't want to listen. They think they're above it. They think they don't need it. They think they know everything. Understand? From a 20 to 21, and from 20 to 25, and from 25 to 26, 27, and even 27 to 29, 30 are big ass leaps. Bounds of leaps. Right? And the wise become wise because they fucked up. Understand? That's the paradox. You can't learn without fucking up. Understand? Otherwise, a 20-year-old would be wise enough to listen to look for, to learn. Instead, they refuse. They don't want to listen to the simple shit. Right? Like a 30-year-old telling a 20-year-old, hey, when you hit 30, you're going to understand a couple of things. 1, all the shit you wanted, you didn't get. 2, time goes quick. And 3, right? 3, you wasted your 20s on shit. And now you're in your 30s. And the 20-year-old looking at 30, I was like, oh, you're a dumbass. You don't know what the hell you're talking about, unk. Stupid shit like that. 30-year-old though knows. He knows because he lived it. Understand the 20-year-old don't care. He don't care. He thinks he has all the time in the world. And some 20-year-olds don't even make it to 30, right? They fuck up so bad. They are eliminated from this game of life, literally. Anyways. Let's continue. I hope you understood my point, right?
Not going to get married ever again. After getting completely blistered in my divorce 10 years ago, I learned I did not want to do that again. That's a story for another time, but I'm a relationship guy. I think men and women are better together. I've said this before, they're better together than they are apart. But that being said, I'm about ready to hang it up on this last experience. 2 years ago, I walked into my gym and I noticed a cute little brunette with a bob-style haircut. She had a friendly smile and a very sweet demeanor to her. I'm usually anti-approach in the gym because it's my space. I don't want to ruin it dating and hitting on women there. We'll call her Rachel. Rachel was working with a trainer, a female trainer. When I saw her the first time, I went in and started my lifting. Every time I stopped to rest, I would look over and notice she was looking my way and she would smile. That's what we call an indicator of interest, gentlemen. So after my
choosing signals. All these words, man. They always get me like choosing signals and indicator. And there it is. You know, can't think of them. But they get me all the time.
My session, she was on a treadmill and I walked over and introduced myself and got her number. We began texting a lot. We had a lot in common and genuinely enjoyed the conversation. She was smart, funny, feminine, and very sweet. We set up a date. After the first date, we didn't stop for over 2 years. I'm sure I missed some red flags, but she treated me well. She cooked for me. She'd come over to my apartment and clean it while I was traveling, so I would have a clean space to come back to. She would bake me cakes on my birthdays and just at random times to bring in to my team in the office.
I wonder how this went down and shit. And I understand. This guy already given his hand, if you predict shit, right? One of the reasons this worked out, and you know, a lot of you ain't gonna like it, but I think the fact that he said he had an apartment or a place and he traveled and she just has access to this place. Right? Of course the excuse was, well, she's cleaning it while I'm gone. And you're gone. That's another. So, you can kind of start doing the math right off the bat from the description, right? Some of this stuff, again, they're tools, right? And they're setups at the same time. Believe it or not, you just gotta understand the math and the game, how this works. The biggest one is the trust. This thing called trust, when placed like a dumbass, only sets you up to get taken out, which I can damn near predict. I think that's what happened. Now let's go find out.
She would DoorDash coffee to me when she knew I was busy at work and couldn't stop to get one. All markers of genuine burning desire that you talk about in your first book. Now, she was a single mom of 3 kids. I know.
Damn, never mind. There it is, single mom. But again, math's adding up. Sounds like a trust thing, right? And not necessarily, I trust her and no, with your stuff, right? Trust me, space is a valuable thing. An apartment, a little shack, right? A little room, whatever it is. It's a valuable thing in this world we live today, right? You can't lie on the damn street nowadays as a bum. I'm getting kicked the hell out the curb, right? Or at least moved. Anyway, let's continue.
Shouldn't commit to a single mom, but I'm 47, almost 48, and live in a geographic and cultural south So it's nearly impossible to find someone my age that doesn't have kids. And I tried my hand at dating 20-year-olds.
That's not true. It's just hard. Because the ones that have no kids, right, are at an advantage. You're at a disadvantage. Understand? They have all the cards. They got bargaining chips, right? They got all of that. Right? They got the higher ground, as they say. All of that shit. That's all it is. You're just playing a more valuable player. That's it. Pretty simple, right?
And I just don't like them. They're essentially retarded. Especially the pretty ones, he said. So I'm stuck dating single moms. But as I always ensure the kids are older and out of the house or almost there before I consider...
Now, let me address that real quick, right? They're essentially retarded, especially the pretty ones. So understand, that's a lack of understanding what you're dealing with, right? And that also shows the excuse that he uses to not go for what I just said, the higher value player. Understand? Or what in this case, what the gurus would say, the high sexual market value, or whatever the hell, right? There you go, right? Pretty simple. Oh, well, shit, they're damn near retarded. They're stupid. Which is why I pray, right? That's what he's saying. Not me, but what he's saying, right? I pray on single moms. The lower sexual market value, right? If you want to get specific. All right, so anyways, let's continue.
Anything close to a commitment. That's fair enough. About a year in, we decided it's time to meet the kids. I have one as well, so we did that, and it all went well on both sides with the kids. And I started thinking that this might be a long-term, permanent situation. I wasn't perfect in the relationship. I probably let some things slide that I shouldn't have.
You let the biggest one slide right off the bat. The very fact that in the card you mention shit like, well, see, the pretty ones are idiots, so that's why I do not date them, right? Or they're not smart enough for you, or intelligent, whatever the hell it is. The very fact you put that there and put that as like a disadvantage or something hard for you to do or deal with. But in the same letter, you are willing to put up with kids that are not yours. Understand what you are saying. Understand how simple the math is. Because you are substituting one for the other. One doesn't serve you at all. If anything, it's a kick in the nads. You're handicapping yourself right off the bat. And the shit that you claim to not like or want to deal with or is out of the realm of your possibilities, right, is nowhere near the level of shit, right, you just put yourself into, right, because it for somehow seems easier to you for some reason. I don't know. That's always weird to me, like when dudes do this, right? Oh, see, like high maintenance chicks and blah, blah, blah. Yes, that's work, right? It's just harder work that you think it's harder work. That's what it is. Dealing with someone else's saved game, as they say, right, is somehow easier to you than dealing with high maintenance, high level, high stakes, real deal, right? Tens. See, it's like speaking in public, right? Most people say, wow, shit, I'd rather die before I get humiliated right in front of the world or whatever the hell. But something that is actually not even that hard. It really ain't. It ain't. Once you really understand, right? And do it mostly. But you're willing to deal with all sorts of other shit instead of taking the dive and doing the work. And again, it comes back to that weird question, right? It's just a weird, paradoxical thing. Some things are just so easy that they're hard, right? Because they are overlooked. But anyways, I'm rambling off. Let's continue.
But for the most part, I did the right things when it came to relationships. I led, I set boundaries, I checked her when she would test them. For example, we had to talk about being serious, which she initiated. I let her know that two of my boundaries were no girls' trips, and girls' nights would be given serious scrutiny. She agreed to everything we discussed.
There you go. Fucked up. It's pretty simple. You understand what happened there? I mean, look, I'll break it down pretty simple. She brings it up, the problem. He falls for it by saying the two things that he doesn't want to happen, right? No girls' night out. Why? She's a single mom. She already has kids. You're trying to prevent shit that has already, right, left the bag a long time ago. The cat got out. There is no prize in the Cracker Jack box. Right? That's it. You're trying to mail in an old ass sweepstakes ticket, right? It's done. It's expired. Coupons, right? Yeah. Wow, look, this coupon is good for a free. No, it expired, son. What are you trying to do? Cash in a coupon that has expired. I mean, understand. But ultimately, besides all that funny shit, what I want to point out is understand that he set himself up. Well, she brought it up, and then he set himself up for two disrespectful moves to happen because you brought him up. Of course, she brought shit up first, yes. But it was for you to bring your shit up so then she could ultimately, right, do said things you said not to do that ultimately F's you up. Because again, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, this is but a game. Understand? Anyways, let's see if I'm correct.
But about a year in, coincidentally not long after meeting families and beginning to stay at each other's homes, she brought up going on a low-key beach trip with her best friend.
There you go. What did I just say? Didn't I just say? I told you. You do the math, predictable shit, and it happens. Because I've seen this time and time again. Over and over again. However, I am an expert, which is what makes me understand this to the most simplest form. Easy, fast, quick, boom. It's like, to me, right? It's just, there it is. I can see it as clear as day. Right? Because I understand the game. What did she bring up? Stupid shit. And then he said, well, one thing you can't do is night out with the girls and blah, blah, blah. And sure enough, what is she going to do? She's going to do exactly what you said not to do. We can get into the whys later, right? But for now, just understand. He brought it up. Now she's doing it. Why? Right? Again, we'll get to the later. But for now, to give you a simple answer, understand. She's doing it because you said that was one of the big no-nos. Understand it that it's only natural that would be the play. So, I'll take this opportunity, right, to plug my channel and my wisdom and knowledge to all of you, right? If you like this stuff, if you got an aha moment, if you just realize something that I just said about the game, well, like, share, subscribe, help me help you, right? By helping me build this up. So I can show you the ropes of how simple it really is. Because it is. It's hard to do. Don't get me wrong. Damn hard to do. Which is why it's the 1% that win. Right? And then it's the 99% that lose. Because they don't understand the fundamentals. Right? But anyways. There you go. Pretty simple, right? What did I just say? Simple stuff. She brought some shit up. Setting up the board game, right? He made the move. She counter moved. That's it. Pretty simple, right? That's it. And now you're going to see the consequences of the counter move. Or actually his move and then the counter move, which he had nothing to counter that move. And that's where we're at right now with this story. So there you go. Let's continue.
I let her know quickly that she's an adult, she's free to do whatever she wants to do, and that if that's what she chooses, I would not be in her life when she got back. She was an adult.
What did I just say? Did he not just fuck up again? His move to the counter move was Well, you're an adult and you can. Well, what happened to what you said before? Understand? So his natural move was a double move. Understand what just happened. Not only did he just retracted his so-called shit that he said, right? Remember the move. One thing you can't do is go out ladies' night. He said that. Now he's saying, well, you're an adult and you can do whatever the hell you want. Retracting what he said. And then double moved by saying, if you go, right, I will not be there in your life anymore. That's called a double. Double move. And now you're going to get the classic. And I call this the classic because this happens all the time. She is about to call your bluff. Understand? And again, and here's the magical part. The only way you can ever truly call a bluff is by being certain. And ultimately, calling the bluff. Understand? Simple shit. Right? Next level. While it's simple, it's hard. Right? But this is what you get here. In my channel, right? Anyways. Let's continue.
Happy about it, but she decided not to go. And her girls' nights went from late night bar hopping with a group to just an occasional night at a wine bar with her best friend. As a note, her best friend is in her late 50s and married, so the nights at the wine bar were never more than a couple hours.
You believe this shit? Do you believe this shit? So she's still doing, basically, she's eating the cake, right? Now, what is that? Having your cake and eating it too. And he's giving her the cake and and the tools to eat it too. There you go. And what's worse is the justifying part, right? Because guys do this a lot, right? It's like they know they're being played, but then they turn around and justify, right, that they're not being played. But we all know. It's like, well, see, his girl, right? No, wait. Her girlfriend is a 50-year-old woman married with kids. Well, what the hell is this 50-year-old woman doing at a bar with her younger friend who is supposedly married and has kids of her own? The math doesn't add up. You can't make this shit up. And I've seen this damn times. And first of all, women are not real friends with women. Understand that. In the game of professional wrestling, which is the same of the game of love and war, believe it or not, there is no such thing as friends. Understand? They're only rivals. That's it. And I know everybody, if not the whole damn world, don't like to hear it and will actively disagree with what I just said. But understand, this is what it is. Rivals. That's all they are. That's all they've ever been. Understand? That's it. Because there's only certain spots, right? And we're all trying to get spots. So, it's either you or your best friend that gets the spot. And understand, when you do the math, once again, what is a 50-year-old married woman with kids at a bar for brunch or whatever the hell, happy hour? What the hell is she doing, right, with her younger friend, if not sabotaging, believe it or not, her younger friend's life? Because that's the sad truth and state of women friendship. But anyways, before I get into all of that, right now, I just want you to understand what I just said. Ask the questions. Do the math. Right? That's how deep this shit goes. Yeah, but simple stuff. Once you see the little things, like, whoa. Right? If I had the dog meme, you know, the
And those only happen 3 times in the last 2 years.
I'll see that. Oh, that's only 3 times. Right? 3 times that she's done whatever the hell she's done, and it's only been an hour. Well, let me tell you what. In the real world, you can get it in within 5. For those that understand, you understand. For those that don't, you will one day. Sadly. Anyways, let's continue.
Fairly reasonable so far. To describe me, and this is not to brag, just to illustrate the point of the story, I'm 6'3", a competitive power lifter. I'm in good shape, broad shoulders, muscles. I earn 6 figures. Have a nice apartment, drive a nice car and truck, have my own hobbies and interests and friends. I travel for work. I am a 1L law student, earning my JD on the weekends. I'm not sure what a 1L law student is. Maybe somebody can chime in the comments. Just something I've always wanted to do. Didn't make her my world. She was an important part, but just not the center of it. I've always said a woman wants a man with a sparkle in his eyes, but she doesn't want to be that sparkle. Sounds like he's doing everything right so far.
No. You just effed up even worse. You see, again, with all this shit he just said in the letter, right? I'm 6'3", and I got the job and the car and blah blah blah, and blah, 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 you had all of that means not a damn thing. It means shit, right? Understand. It brings me to the scene. The Men in Black scene, right? What was it? Part 1, yeah. The good one. Part 1. You got Will Smith walking up in the damn station. Remember that? He's walking up. And he's like, all right, I'm accepting. Before we start, you chose me. So that means you realized the player that I am and my skills and all this other shit. And he gave this big speech, right? So I don't want to hear anybody telling me slick or rookie or green, right? Or any of this. We got that? And Agent K, the greatest agent of all time, turns around and says, well, that's okay, son. But as of right now, all your skills mean shit. Well, actually, it was dick, right, in the movie, but understand, this is how this works. If you have all these damn skills, well, why in the hell are you with a single mom? Do the damn math. All your skills and tools and all this shit went down the shitter because what you're saying is, well, I'm a lion. I'm 6'3" lion, and I know how to hunt, and I got claws 5 inches long and all this other shit. And look what I just caught. And in between your little claws, you got yourself a little hyena. What in the hell? And the other lions are looking at you like, wait a minute, you're 6'3", 4-inch clawed lion, and you're trying to tell me that what you caught is not even the shit we eat. What the hell? It says more about you than it will ever say about everybody. Understand. This is why I say this stuff. This is what I mean. This is what I do. Understand. There it is. It couldn't have been more simpler than that. Anyway, let's finish this up because I think I made this video too damn long.
I would plan dates and surprises, take her on work trips with me, plan vacations. She had what she wanted, and maybe that was the part of the problem. But I like going out and having a nice dinner and drinks. I work hard and play hard, so it was nice to have a female companion. These trips weren't planned specifically for her. It was just a welcomed addition. All to say, she had it made. We didn't live together, but we had a schedule. The weeks I was not traveling, I would spend Tuesday and Thursday night at her place, and on the weekends, I didn't have my kids. I would stay the weekend, or she would come over to my apartment. On nights we didn't see each other, we would talk for about an hour right before bed just to check in on each other and see how the day was. About a year and a half into the relationship, she got a new job. She went from a job that was basically brainless to back working in her field that she had left a few years before we had met. This was my encouragement because her talent was being wasted. Again, probably a mistake on my part. All was good the first year or so, then I started noticing the changes at the end of the last year. I would occasionally check her phone, never saw much of anything. The phone was never an indicator, like a lot of people say, because of our schedule and routine. She would be able to clean up any evidence before I got there. I should also mention that we had each other's phone passwords. Around last Thanksgiving.
Why? There it is again. First of all, he's actively checking shit and actively saying, well, you know, she could clean this shit up before I even get to it. So what's the point? Again, it's everything and everything again and everything that I've been saying about everything in all my videos. It's the simple stuff. It's the simple stuff. How can you say, well, you see, I check and, you know, nothing there, but then again, she can clean it, right? So you know she's playing you. But you're sitting there going, well, as long as she can clean it, out of sight, out of mind, right? Then I'm okay. But you weren't, were you? You weren't. And again, it says more about you than it actually says about her. Because the fact that you're checking the phone and going, well, see, I shows you're a rookie, right? You're a novice. And it go again to Men in Black 2 in that scene, right? You recognize the skills. So I don't want to hear anybody calling me son or slick or Joey, all that other shit. And you realized, right there and then, that you're indeed a rookie. That's it. It's pretty simple, right? Simple once you see it. Once I show you how this works. That's it. It's pretty, again, simple. Hard to do.
In the US, I noticed a selfie she took where she was all fixed up. I remember that day she was running out to get a Christmas tree. She was not one to get fixed up to go on errands. So there's the suspicion starting to build.
No, son, it's been, then you're not here all these, I check her phone, all that shit, but because I'm not there, she could clean it up. No, this was just caught red-handed. This wasn't suspicion. It is what it is. No girl makes herself up for no damn reason. Understand? Even though they claim, well, I do this for me and it feel good and all this other shit. Right? They all claim to do that. I bend over because I needed to pick shit up. Only, yeah, you did. Right in front of me, right? You had to do that in front of me. Knowing I'm a lion. Understand? I mean, again, simple shit. You know?
So I saw it and inquired about it. Of course, I got the, oh, I meant to send that to you answer, but as I probed into why she dressed up to get a tree, which is a dirty job, she couldn't give me an answer. So I clocked that. I told her that her answer didn't sit right with me, to which she began to try to explain more, which let me know it was all a lie. This triggered me to start paying closer attention. Along this same period, she began taking a lot of vitamins and supplements for hair, skin, and nails. Another trigger. We always shared locations just due to my travels. And
another, why? Why would you set yourself up for this shit? Share location. Look, here's... Alright, I'm going to give you a freebie. And I've said it in all my other videos, right? There can only be one. Can't be both of you. There could only be one. Now, what does that mean? It means either you're looking at where she's at or she's looking at where you're at. It can't be both. Understand? Pretty simple, right? Simple. Simple ground game. Basics. I can't, oh, well, see, I'm here, love. Then you're like, well, I'm over here working. You're both. All right, full of shit. Understand? There could only be one. That's what that means. Either she's worried where you're at, or you're worried where she's at. It can't be both. It makes no sense. Understand? Simple. It doesn't add up. I've tried, trust me, did the math. Did the math. Up, down, left, right. All the equations. It doesn't compute. It just doesn't compute. Because it wasn't meant to compute, period. Anyways. Continue.
And her old job were all over the city, and some of those places were not so nice. So the staying later at work began. which was honestly explainable because she had to terminate someone on her team who messed up a lot of things and cost the company a bunch of money. But coupled with the later evenings at the office, distance began. At first, it was barely texting during the day, again, somewhat explainable due to her being in a position down on her team, being busy, but she wouldn't text on her way home, and sometimes she wouldn't text for hours. There were some days I wouldn't hear from her for about 5 to 6 hours. She also was the one who would reach out and text first. I would check in from time to time, but I'm very busy, and I would always respond. Then I started noticing other things. The affection got...
Well, you're not that busy if you're literally timing it down to, well, on some days it was 6 hours. Then it would take a couple, 7 hours. You timed it out. You seem to know what she does, too. That's another stupid thing that I hear all the time about dudes, right? Well, she works here, and what she does is this, and she's taking care of a team, and at 3 o'clock exactly, she takes a little nap, and that's why all those hours, she obviously didn't reach out. It's like, were you there? Were you there? How do you know this? It's fucking amazing. And I get it all the time. All the damn time. Dudes tell me the schedule up and down to what she supposedly is. Right now it's her sleeping time. Right? I know she's at home and she's asleep. Only you don't. And the fact that she said that only adds up to her not being asleep, and she played your sorry ass. All right? And then that's where they don't like what I just said. Because they refuse to believe. And they start hating the messenger, like me, right? They're like, well, can't say that. Because I called them on their stupid shit, and they refuse to believe, and of course they don't want to face it. Of course not. It's the hardest thing to do. What are they going to admit? Huh? Well, first of all, is a couple things. One, they don't want to give me that I'm right. Two, right? They don't want to admit that they're wrong. And three, that they got played. And that they're justifying it. That's the worst. But anyways, let's continue.
Weird. She was always very touchy with me, would jump up as soon as I got to her place and hug and kiss me. She still would, but it took time for her to get up and greet me. It felt forced. The next indicator was the lack of talk about future plans. I talked about this in my second book, by the way, in one of the green flags. I had planned 2 trips to the beach this summer, one with my extended family and one for just us. When they were first planned, she was very excited and talked about it a lot. She loved the beach. That talk died down, and the last 2 weeks and when I would bring it up, I would barely get a response. We also had planned a Christmas trip to Chicago for her and her kids. She paid for the kids' plane tickets and hotel. I covered her flight with miles and our room. The excitement and talk about it died off as well in the last couple weeks. I also noticed a coworker's name began to come up a lot around this time. And there it is.
And there it is. But ultimately, you're still in a shit sandwich, right? Like, well, see, we're going to Chicago with her and her kids. It's like, all right. And you try to justify it by saying, well, I paid for her tickets, she paid for her kids' tickets. Yeah, but what is that? That ain't fun. Hell, I'm going to be hated for that. Hell, it ain't even fun with your own kids, let alone ones that ain't yours. What the hell? Anyways, there you go. So we know where this is going, right? Obviously, she cheated on them and blah, 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 and all that other shit. Ultimately, that doesn't matter because we're not solving this case. That's for this dude, the bald dude, right? I'm showing you the ropes, the simple stuff. All right? Shit so that you don't end up in this level of shit. Pretty simple. Right? First of all, you're in a shit sandwich, which you shouldn't be at all. And all your skills and tools and everything you have should be aimed for the appropriate level of game, right? And level of targets, for lack of a better word. The ones you like, the ones you want. That's the reason you leveled up and have tools and all this other crap. Right? Pretty simple. So, the very fact that you use the best of skills, right, with no ability to chase down stuff that should not be at your level, brings you down to the level of rookie. Understand? It's just simple math. Anyways, there you go. We'll end with that for today. So again, if you like this video, give me a like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Right? You got a homie who's in this situation. Send this over to him. You got yourself convinced that you're in a lovey-dovey situation with a single mom. Well, if it's true, because I never said it cannot be done, right? I'm not even saying you shouldn't do it. I said it before. At least do it right. That's it. Okay? Pretty simple. Anyways, there you go. So I will see you on the next episode.